my next speaker is a new igniter. Travis and his wife Jen have Uncorked Studios, a destination wedding photography. Travis himself loves big panoramics, fisheye lenses, kind of crazy lighting, cool stuff, dramatic like that. But really, I'd call him sort of a Renaissance man because he likes traveling and wine tasting and woodworking, tapas, monster truck rallies, target shooting, and UFC fighting. Welcome to the stage, Travis Stitt.
All right, let's do this. So growing up, my dad always gave me the same two pieces of advice. It didn't matter if it was about school or art or sports, he would absolutely say the exact same thing. And now, my dad was the smartest guy I've ever met. He started college at 16, joined the military, got a PhD, and like a lot of us, he changed his career many times throughout his life. But each time he changed his career, he quickly rose to the top and succeeded. Now, when I mean success, I mean the kind of success where the first lady doesn't like your van parked in front of the White House because she thinks it's an eyesore kind of success. I mean the kind of success where you can actually define your future and continually opening doors. Now, he did all this amazingly with two very simple rules he used to yell at me. Rule number one, don't suck. Pretty much that simple when you think about it. But if you think about successful people you know, and the successful photographers you're seeing here at WPPI, you quickly realize there's not a single aspect of their business in which they suck. Now, my dad would always tell me, it's not about being the best at every aspect either. It's the understanding that every piece of your business is connected. And as soon as you suck at one, the whole structure can come down. Now, how do you not suck? Rule number two. Close. Don't be a dumbass. Okay? That's rule number two. Now, what that really means is being able to make the right decision at the right time. My dad was a huge proponent of education, absolutely loved it. But what he would always say is the most important part is being able to take what you learn and directly apply it to your life and your business. If you can do that, you can then drive change, and through change, you can go to success. So what that means is not being a dumbass directly correlates to not sucking. Now, a lot of this didn't really come overnight. It took a lot of thinking and, well, a lot of drinking. And I realized that there's actually a much deeper meaning to all of this. You start to apply it to your life. And what I quickly realized is there's not a single person out there who cannot make me not suck. There's not a person who cannot make me a dumbass. My responsibility for success is completely on me. My decisions, my action, my effort, not anybody else's. So let me tell you a couple quick stories that kind of show some more of this wisdom. When I was in high school, I loved to woodwork, and I wanted a table saw really badly. So my dad went out, got a whole bunch of parts, and I actually made my own table saw. So by the age of 15, I actually created a 65-pound spinning blade of death with no safety equipment whatsoever. And before using this, he sat me down and he goes, all right, don't be a dumbass with this tool, okay? You gotta focus, make sure you make deliberate moves, and make sure you think ahead. And if you do that, I won't have to take you to the hospital. So that made a lot of sense. So I started thinking about this a couple years later down the road. Well, much later, I was 15. So way down the road, I was thinking about it. And what I realized is if you rely on safety equipment, both in your personal life and your business, rather than yourself, that's when you're gonna get hurt. That's when you're gonna start to make mistakes. Another quick story. Before starting Uncorked Studios, Jen and I worked for another photographer, and, well, they weren't very good. Jen was making $8 an hour, photographing 400 screaming students. Yeah, that is me, unfortunately. And we were doing budget weddings on the weekend. We were commiserating in our garage one day about this, so my dad totally interrupted us, looked right at Jen, and goes, "You don't suck. You need to know your value. You don't need those dumbasses anymore. You can do it yourself." So I really started thinking about this, and that afternoon we actually filed our paperwork to become a company. Later down the road, I started thinking more about this. What I quickly realized is what he was saying is when you suddenly realize you don't suck, you can actually determine your value and drive it. And when you drive your value, you're able to actually see what success you can achieve, which is pretty crazy. So if you start thinking about these two rules and how they actually apply in your life, you're going to go right down the self-discovery rabbit hole, and it's a dark, deep place. But you're going to start realize those, you're going to think differently, and you're going to start to act a little bit bit differently. You're going to think about two major things. And one of them is success. What does that really mean to me? I've talked about it, but never defined it. And that's because success is incredibly elusive and very personal. But if you never define your success, you have no idea where you're going to go. So don't be a dumbass, define your success. The second part about it is, do I really have the commitment necessary in order to achieve my goals? Do I really have the emotional, spiritual, and physical strength necessary in order to get my defined success? So later, after Photographers Unite, you're probably going to go out, do a little thinking, do a little drinking, maybe think about this goofy guy talking about 2 rules, and you're going to think about how they apply them to your life. But what I'm going to leave you with is, if you think about these 2 rules, and no matter who tells you can't do it, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you apply the 2 rules, it's mathematically impossible to fail. So to be a little cliche at the end of a speech, the next time anyone says, do you have any advice, quickly just tell them, don't suck and don't be a dumbass.
Words of wisdom. Love that.